right, guys, today we're going to do our Socratic seminar that we have been preparing for the last week and a half. So let's just go over what we're going to do today in the library, and then I'm going to split you up into your groups, and each group is going to have a teacher with you with the discussion questions for your Socratic seminar that you're going to discuss. So we're going to start by talking about what's the point of a Socratic seminar, why we even bothered to do this, and the reason is Socrates, who Socratic seminar is named after, he's a great philosopher. How many people have heard of Socrates? Okay. So he focused on morality, and his goal was just to get people to think. Okay. He threw out questions like, what is love? And he wanted people to think and just express their opinions. Okay. There wasn't a debate. He didn't want you to argue your point. He just wanted you to express your ideas and to discuss it with other people. That you really should examine your life. He didn't write anything down, so we don't have any of his principles written down. However, he passed them on to his disciples. So he taught Plato, and Plato then gave the information over to Aristotle, and that's how we do have information on Socrates and what he taught. He was poor, but he had a lot of self-control, and the government was not really impressed with his ideas. Okay, they didn't want people to think, right? So what did they do? They poisoned him, right? He was sentenced to death because they wanted everybody to follow the rules and the laws that were set, and he wanted people to think and talk and think outside the box. Okay? So what you're going to do today is you're discussing, you're not debating. Okay? There's no, you're wrong, I'm right. This is discussion. The discussion questions that you have that we went over, you're discussing those amongst your group. You're throwing out your ideas. You're pulling information from the 3 articles that we read and the video that we watched. Okay? So when you are discussing your ideas, you want to cite or pull out specific examples from the text. Okay? So make sure we're not arguing today. On the back of your sheet, you have some guidelines. We gave you the rubric and guidelines, so go ahead and look at that, and let's just go over the rules that we're following for today. Refer to your text when needed. Okay, again, can't emphasize this enough. We are not debating. We are discussing today. Yes. And the goal isn't to make sure you read the 3 articles and that you memorized everything in it and that you know everything that you possibly can about the Salem witch trials prior to reading the Crucible. The goal is that you have some background knowledge, that you have some ideas, and that you listen and pull things from the text, but you can have the text in front of you. You don't have to have memorized. Okay, you're not being tested on, recall. Okay, the goal is just to pull it and bring it together in ideas. Okay, it's okay if you don't have anything to add to that particular question. It's okay to listen to everybody else. You can, of course, jump in and respond to other people's, but if you don't have something new, it's okay to pass on a particular question. So the goal is to participate throughout the course of the 7 questions. Okay? If you're not prepared, which all of you should be prepared because this time we did it all together. Okay? Sometimes with Socratic seminars, and our goal, if we did it in the future, would be to give you the articles to read on your own and then get together in a group and discuss them. Okay? And so sometimes if you were to come and not have read any of the articles, would you be a very good participant in the Socratic seminar? No, right? Because you didn't read anything and you don't have anything to pull from. So today you should all be prepared, and having the articles in front of you should help. If you're confused about something, ask. If you're confused about something one of your classmates in the group says, ask. Okay? And don't be offended if somebody's confused. Just clarify what you were talking about. Okay? So again, no hostility within our groups. This should be kind of a fun assignment where you get to just talk and share your ideas. Okay? Hopefully this will be something you're like, oh, that was pretty cool. We should do that more often. Okay? Make sure you're sticking to the point. You got 7 questions that you're going through. Don't, wander too far out of the range of the question, okay? You're answering that question. And there's no none of these questions have right or wrong answers, okay? None of them. There's no right or wrong answer to any of them. They're just discussion questions, okay? You don't need to raise your hands, okay? This is a discussion. You should be taking turns, listening to each other, and responding. And make sure that you are listening because you want to respond to what your classmates are talking about. Make sure that you are heard. As a drama teacher, man, you got to be loud and clear and understood. Talk to each other. There is going to be a teacher in your group, and you don't want to talk to the teacher because the teacher's not participating in the discussion. The teacher is only there to give the questions, okay? And to pay attention to how you're participating so you can get a grade afterwards, okay? But the teacher's not actually adding any points. They're not discussing. They're just observing. It is a student-led discussion. Discuss ideas, don't discuss your opinions. So again, if you make a point, I'm not telling you you are wrong. I'm just discussing ideas, okay? Again, discussion, not debate. You are responsible for, it should 30 minutes. Our goal is a 30-minute discussion on these 7 questions, okay? If your group is done in 5 minutes, whose issue is that? Who made it where it was done in 5 minutes? Your group, okay? You are responsible for your discussion. You're the ones who are leading it. So the more interesting it is all based on you guys. How much you're adding and kind of giving and taking with each other and discussing. Okay, so yeah, your group can be done in 5 minutes. That won't be a very interesting Socratic seminar, or your group could take the whole 30 minutes, okay? So it's all up to you and how much y'all are willing to participate. Each teacher at the table, there's myself, Mr. Clover, Mr. Kizo, we have 4 groups, and Ms. Breathwaite are each going to be in a group. And we have the rubric sitting in front of us, and we'll be taking notes as well as giving the discussion questions. So what are we looking for? We're looking for that rubric that we're going to go over in just a second. And on that, we're listening for, are you speaking loudly and clearly? Okay, are you really participating? Are you giving reasons from the text? Okay, you're not just throwing out your own opinions. Okay, you're actually referring back to those 3 articles or the video that we watched and kind of backing up what you're saying by using those articles that we've been reading. Listening respectfully. Okay, if you're being hostile or you're not listening or you're being rude, that doesn't go for a very good discussion, right? We all want to be respectful and listen. Talk to each other, not to the leader, okay, again. You want to talk to each other. If you're referring back to the text, are you paraphrasing accurately? And I think y'all just went over in your warm-up, paraphrasing and summarizing. Okay, so are you paraphrasing accurately from the articles? If you're confused, ask for help. Are you being a supportive group member? Are we avoiding hostile exchanges? Discussion, not debate. Can't say that enough. Discussion, not debate. If we have questions for clarification or questions for our classmates, are we being polite when we're doing it? And do we seem prepared? Like we really listened as we read these 3 articles and we watched the documentary. So if you want an A today, here's what you got to do. If you're going to get an A from the teacher in your group, you need to offer enough solid analysis without prompting to move the conversation forward. So you're really participating and using your articles and video notes. Okay? Through your comments, you're demonstrating a deep knowledge of the text. So again, you were paying attention. And the question. So you're actually responding to the question asked. No right answers to the questions, but are you responding with the text that you talked about? Are you prepared? Do you have your notes on your text? You know, we highlighted, we wrote little symbols on there to help give you some ideas when you participate in the seminar. Are you actively listening to everybody else? Or are you finding other things that, are you doing other things? If you want an A, you're going to actively listen to your group members. If you're confused, you ask questions, and if somebody asks a question of your comment, you offer clarification, okay? And your remarks that you offer refer back to specific parts of the text. Okay, that's for an A, okay? So is everybody gonna get A? Yeah. All right. B is closely followed, okay? But you're offering solid analysis without prompting, okay? The leader doesn't have to jump in. Another student doesn't have to get you going. But through comments, you demonstrated good knowledge of the text. You did listen to the question. You're prepared with your notes, with your articles. You show that you're actively listening to everybody and you're offering clarification for people who need it. Okay? Now, a C, we're all getting A's and B's, right? Okay, everybody got your articles? You're ready to go. Okay, a C, you offer some analysis, but you need prompting from the seminar leader, so the teacher has to encourage you. So if your group teacher has to jump in to make sure the discussion's going, then that's, you're looking at a C. Okay? Was that y'all's bell?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll pause there, go to lunch, and then we'll come back and split into groups. Okay. So we were talking prior to lunch, the lunch bell ringing, about your rubric, and we talked about whether you're going to get A, B, C, and then of course if you offer, if you want a D or an E, you offer very little commentary, you're not prepared, you don't understand the text, you don't understand the question, you're not listening to others, you're not further into the discussion, you're distracting the group and the speakers, okay, and you're ignoring the discussion. All right, so basically, you're just not there at all. You're being obnoxious, you're not participating, okay, that's what's going to get you to fail. A, B, or C, participate, okay, bring in that text. The other thing we're going to have you do today, as you participate, Ms. Riquizo, each of the tables, she's putting them on each of the tables, you're going to get 3 little puff balls, okay? And this is going to help you keep track, and us as the leaders keep track of your participation. So when you participate, you're going to have a cup in the middle of your table. Just drop one in so you make at least 3 comments. Can you make more than 3 comments? Yes, way more. Okay, there's 7 questions, but at least 3 throughout the discussion. Times you chime in. So drop them in. Okay? When we're all said and done, okay, you're going to have a reflection, some reflection questions based on how you participated, how you thought your group went. You're going to get that passed out at the end of the discussion. Okay? So it's going to ask you to sum up what your group discussed, your reaction, write down something somebody said and how you felt about it, how you felt about being in a Socratic seminar. Okay, and then give yourself a self-assessment. So you're going to kind of rate yourself on how you participated and acted in the group. Okay, so you'll do this after we finish our discussion. Okay, so you get 30 minutes in your discussion. Okay, I read out the groups, but I'll go back over them again as you head to the table. Mr. Clover has group 1. Okay, Miss Lacey has group 2. Miss Riquizo has group 3, and I'll be with group 4. Okay? And if you don't know your group, we'll go back over them as we walk to the table. Okay?
Can I